Let's start in a seated posture, and the alignment of our spine, the stack of our vertebrae can really begin here in the seated pose. Lifting the chest and the collarbones, allowing the shoulders to relax, and the breath becomes more fluid. And the practice of deep back bending, heart opening, where there's a lot of release through the front body, can go in and nurture the nervous system with the diaphragmatic breathing. And connecting to the tip of our tongue is a mudra to relax the digestive pathway. The tongue and the esophagus as it connects to the stomach fascia down the front body. So we'll be working into postures that contract or bring more strength into the back body and allow the front body to relax, and also the opposite, strong contraction of the front body to allow the back body to relax. So these are some ideas to keep in mind, the support that comes from the opposite direction, that the body is relaxing or lengthening, the contraction that helps that process. It's called reciprocal inhibition. So if the quadriceps are intensely activated and contracted, the hamstrings will lengthen. And we can apply those same concepts to the spine to deepen our back bends. And the other idea from an energetic perspective is to think about the bandhas now. So we'll be working with this awareness of energy deep in the body, close to the spine. It might help to imagine the nerve bundles, the chakras, each plexus, and especially the nature of the solar plexus, and the pelvic floor, lifting the energy up. So we'll do a little warm-up now before we prepare to move the body. Start to move the spine in all its directions. This is a Kapalabhati breath exercise, a forced exhalation out of the nose. So sitting up nice and tall, bring your hands to your solar plexus. It's like a bundle. Maybe you just feel the diaphragm as it connects. Imagine deep in the body, the central area of energy. And we'll exhale there. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale all the way up. Chin to chest, engage the bandhas. Pelvic floor lifting, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and chin to chest, Jalandhara Bandha. And release. You can hold your breath on the inhalation as long as it feels comfortable. It might be a different length of time. That's why I won't count. We're all different in that regard, so just try to hold it as long as you can. And again, warming up the central area with Kapalabhati. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale all the way up. And hold. Release. Breathe normally. So the bandhas bring us into an awareness of the energy as it moves and tunnels through the central channel, the Sushumna. And there are some posits or theories that the solar plexus acts as a sort of bridge or a conduit to move the energy up more into the heart and eventually up into the higher chakras. And the experience of aligning the chakras could be felt as very powerful and centering, almost like the poles meeting in the middle, a sense of up and down and connection between the two. Or I also like to imagine it like the wings of a butterfly, kind of lifting up and down, and everything kind of comes into this central place, the heart space. And when we practice backward bending, we're really allowing this space to open, to enliven, where it can sometimes become closed off, and then we get constriction and knots, tension in the abdomen and the front body. So beyond just accessing more advanced expressions of postures, the experience of lifting and opening the spine to open the heart and the chest and the lungs can be very freeing and revitalizing. More energy in the lungs, more prana, and maybe less tension in the back of the shoulders and the back of the neck. So trying to counteract some of the forward head and neck posture that we might experience. It's kind of a default setting. Let's do one more. The longest pulsation of Kapalabhati, and the longest hold of Mahabandha. We'll begin. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale and hold. Just noticing as you release the concentration of energy. It's very powerful to affect the body in this way, the nervous system, the organs. This is the science of Meridian yoga, to harmonize energy and to heal. There's always the purpose of healing and restoring that serves as the foundation, bringing the body back into balance. Yoga. So now we'll start to move our spine, and a nice place to do that is just from all fours tabletop. And the spine, if we think about spinal waves and moving the energy, trying to free the vertebrae. So it's less of this, extreme, just back and forth, maybe from one place in the spine. That's a really common way to practice. Try to think about rolling energy from tail to crown, and just try to sense the rippling. Inhales to bring energy in. Just close the eyes. Going inside. And we'll eventually make our way up into our down dog. But take your time. Just enjoy exploring the gentle waves, moving this energy, and maybe even bending the knees a little bit more in downward dog. Feeling the lift of the tailbone, dropping of the crown, so the spine is lengthening out, smoothing out, everything stretching out in every direction, spreading through fingers and toes. And then come down, knees, chest, chin, vinyasa. And on our cobra, let's really squeeze the back body, pull the shoulders away from the ears, slide the elbows down toward the hips, and then press back. So here's our first experience of contraction and extension, and engaging more of the quadriceps here, more of the front body here to lengthen the back body. And let's do that again. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. We want to stretch and extend the front body. So squeezing and engaging the back body. Even the glutes and the hamstrings here. Downward dog. See if you can press back any deeper, chest toward your knees, forehead toward the floor, maybe really lengthening out through the arm meridians, the backs of the legs. And then we'll walk forward. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands, heart center. Inhale, lift up and look back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to the mat. Cobra. Down dog. Inhale all the way. Exhale, soften. Inhale, walk the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up and look back. Fold. Lengthen. And exhale, come down. Completing your exhalation in downward dog. Let's do one more. Inhale, top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Deepest back bend yet. Fold. Rise. And to the floor. Keep the elbows in tight. Back body squeeze. And back body lengthens. 3 breaths. Try to explore spreading out from the center of each palm. Radiate energy through every finger. Lengthen the tailbone and bring the heels closer to the floor. Now we'll walk our hands back to our feet. Deepest expression of a forward fold. Maybe reach behind your legs. Maybe bring your feet together. As the tailbone lifts, drawing the crown toward the floor, chin to chest. So creating that intense compression through the front body, the smoothing and lengthening of the back body. Release. Just a baby moment in Utkatasana. Reaching. Sense the long meridian here. And release coming up. Dropping back, looking back. And return, standing tall, mountain pose. Now we'll come through our myofascial meridian stretches, starting with the lung meridian. Lung pathway emerges just behind the collarbones. You can bring your feet together, or you can step your feet apart, whatever feels easier for balance, and just reach your thumbs out to the sides. And breathe. Imagine the pathway lengthening the deeper we breathe. And where we squeeze the backs of our arms and allow this pathway to lengthen and release. Maybe also bringing the thumbs slightly back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Deepest stretch. Reach. And release. Now, this next stretch for the large intestine, the paired yang meridian of the lung. We'll start with the left hand, reaching the index finger out, dropping our chin into our chest and over into our right shoulder. As we reach, lengthening up more of the yang side of our arm, the back and the top, coming into the back of our neck and our shoulder. And just squeeze and feel the spread of the fascia. Reach more, breathe in. Stay and squeeze, breathe out. Keep reaching. Stay and squeeze, breathe out. 1 more breath. And release. Coming into the other side, right arm extends out, index finger reaching long, chin over into the front of the left shoulder. Maybe observe how this side is different. You imagine reaching and pulling the energy up from the feet, grounding back down. The tailbone can soften. Just concentrate on the energy squeezing the arm. Connect with each breath. Keep reaching and squeezing. Imagine this pathway spreading all the way up the side of the neck. Deepest breath. And release. Coming back through center. This next stretch we'll also do one side at a time. Draw the shoulders up to the ears. And drop the shoulders down the back. Now reach more through your left ring finger. And you can reach into your wrist crease with your right peace fingers and find pericardium 6, an acupressure point here in the base of the wrist, about 2 fingers up from the wrist crease. Reach down and back through the left ring finger, chin to chest again, over into the right shoulder. Just pulling gently on the left arm. 3 more breaths. And switch. You can reach into the wrist crease of your right hand and arm, right where you feel the tendon split. There's a nice place to hook in. Extending energy through the ring finger. And the triple burner is connective tissue in a physical sense that wraps up the back of the arm, but it really represents the energy of the burners. The lower burner, reproduction, kidneys, more of the root chakra support, the middle burner, liver, stomach, digestion, and then the upper burner, which encapsulates our heart, our lungs, and also the pericardium, which is the acupressure that we're experiencing here. And just the way the organs connect with one another and provide support. Now release. This is a really intense and important one before we finish with the heart meridian stretch. This is the pericardium, the sac between the heart and the diaphragm. This is the emotional component. Palm press out to the side. And really feel the space around the heart opening. You have to go in deep. Go into your own chest and feel this sensation. Maybe some tingling from some nerves, stretching. If you wanted to pull your middle finger back toward the sides of your face, you might really activate some heat. These heart chakra meridians dealing with the fire element. Keep pressing out, reaching out from something deeper inside. Try to pull the shoulder blades down and back a little while pressing out to the sides. Deepest breath. And then release. Final myofascial lengthener here will be the heart meridian. So in the pinky finger, heart meridian, shared pathway with the small intestine. So we lift our left elbow up over the crown of our head. Our right arm will internally rotate as the fingers come up in between the shoulder blades. You can also do this with just the left arm and guide your right hand into your elbow. And in that little indentation, you can feel there's an indentation in the elbow. If you can hook your right middle finger in there, some acupressure for the heart. But try to lift your gaze and let your head drop back into your lifted arm. Now, going in even deeper, sense your heart beating. You could think about the way our organs nestle into this connective tissue matrix. And when we lengthen and extend the pathways, it has a profound transformational effect on the entire body, especially the emotional landscape. Feeling the sense of uninhibited freedom, boundless joy, maybe connection with divine oneness, the seat of bliss in the heart, our truest nature, anahata, the unstruck chakra. And then as you're ready to release, just stretch out through your left pinky finger as you reach back. And then extend both pinky fingers out to the side for a moment. And slowly lower down. Do the other side. It's normal to feel some slight tingling, just as the nerves, the body's nervous system, the branches of nerves follow the cardiovascular pathways. So as we lengthen fascia, everything's affected. It's totally safe, it's normal. Right arm up, overhead. Maybe start with half Gomukhasana. And maybe feel like going deeper. Left arm internally rotates, clasping the hands together, lifting the gaze, maybe sending the head back into the upper arm, breathing in and around the heart. Maybe you like to imagine the heart fascia as this little net or a hammock that's held in place as the web of fascia stretches hand to hand, wrist to wrist, in between the arms. Deepest breaths now, in and out. Extending out through the right pinky finger, and then both pinky fingers out. Deepest breath in there, really stretch in body and release. Now this final myofascial exploration here will be just a gentle front body opener on our way back into a forward fold. So you can step your feet a little bit wider apart as you guide your hands to the back of your sacrum and press your hips forward. Lift your heart just like Ustrasana, camel, And just see if you can press your hips forward and let your head go back. Change. Just lengthening the stomach fascia from the under eyes to the second toes. You can bend your knees as you come forward. Just walk right out into our downward dog there for a moment, a nice neutral place to observe our spine, bending our knees. And then we'll come down, knees, chest, chin. Legs lengthen back. Now, bring your toes and heels together and reach around for the edges of your mat. Pulling the edges of your mat away as you lift your chest up, squeeze your heels together. And release. Come down. Now, plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Squeeze your elbows in tight. Squeeze your heels together. Inner leg strong. As we lift up, we'll think about a strong contraction of the back body. Release. You can rest your left cheek on the mat. Now one more to keep working on. It's the practice of full cobra or king cobra. We'll split our knees wide and interlock our toes together. Now, try to think about that extreme contraction of the back body. Lifting up, pulling the elbows down, pulling the shoulders away. Release. Downward dog. Softening tongue, throat, eyes, forehead. Take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Left foot forward, low lunge. Now moving in here, guiding some support for the back of our sacrum. You can find some support with your hands. You can keep your right toes tucked. You can bring your hands to some blocks or the floor. Eventually making our way back. You can untuck your right toes and press into the top of your foot. Think about sending your hips down and forward as you lift your heart up. And just like cobra, the contraction of the back body lengthens and opens the front body. Coming back, bring your spine up before your head and your neck. Now, bend your right leg. Reach back for the inner arch of your right foot. You can stay here, or you can fold the toes in for a quad stretch. Some of you might also enjoy bringing your right toes into your right arm and just settling down and in to the right quadriceps. Again, to lengthen the stomach pathway a bit more. Squeeze the right glutes, go deeper. And then reaching, interlacing your fingers around the front of your right shin. See if you can reach your heart up. And release, pressing back into lizard. Right hand centers, left arm reaches back. One more time, nice activation for the quadriceps, letting the pelvis soften. Remembering the connection between stomach fascia and the tongue, the throat, the jaw, the SCM. Soften whatever you can. And as you're ready, downward dog. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. And back. Downward dog. Moving deeper. Just sense your breath. As it massages your spine and the organs. Right foot forward, low lunge. Again, feel the support from the back of your sacrum. Touch is so grounding, so healing. If you can gently guide your pelvis deeper, it helps with some of the resistance. And then maybe keep your right toes or your left toes tucked, helping to steer the pelvis, bringing the left hip up to meet the right, otherwise ground in through the top of the left foot. You can keep sinking down and forward. Maybe bring your hands to the top of your right leg, otherwise to the floor. And look back. Just try to remember to keep your breath moving a little more. Spine up first, and then the head. You can come out of your lunge a little to find the inside of your left foot. And then crouch back down. Try to press your heel to your glute. Keep your hips and your shoulders facing forward. It helps to engage more of the back body. The glutes, the hamstrings, even the backs of the arms and the shoulders. Remember that triple heater meridian stretch. You can always go lower. This is also some release for the liver meridian, softening the quadriceps, the connective tissue over the quads. reaching back, interlace your fingers, and then slide down toward the knee. There's some acupressure there. For the stomach and the spleen, you can always readjust your foundation as well. The spleen is a very lifting energy. I'll release down into our lizard. Left hand centers reaching back. A little bit of relief for the groin, the inner hip flexors. And release. Downward dog. And knees, chest, chin. Cobra. And child's pose. Just grounding the hips back. Embryo pose. Knees and heels together. Softening the front body down. Hips back toward the heels. Forehead toward the floor. You can keep reaching your arms forward, or you can internally rotate and let your shoulders soften around the sides of your knees. And this posture is really to allow the front body to totally relax. Breathing deeper down into the abdomen. Even softening the throat here, the neck and the jaw. Deep, full breaths in and out. Now we'll come up into Ustrasana, and the awareness of supporting the back body and allowing the spine to open, the chest to open. We'll start in our foundational setup here, pressing into the tops of our feet, that beautiful connection with the stomach, fascia, front body meridians. You can also keep your toes tucked if that feels better and easier to reach back for. Starting with that support, again, for the sacrum. We've been here before. There's a little bit of, memory, internal memory, muscle memory. There's an impression that we've made here. Just gently guiding the pelvis forward. You'll feel the glutes and the hamstrings engage as we press forward. Now you can stay here with support, letting the shoulders and the head fall back. You can stay here with support the whole time, or reach back for your heels or the soles of your feet and continue to press your hips forward. Press into the tops of your feet. And just allow your breath to naturally soften any tension in the front body. Hug the shoulder blades together. Engage the backs of the arms. And support the heart and the chest. Maybe go deeper. Now, the first thing that could potentially happen is the vulnerability of this posture might bring an emotion to the surface, such as fear, maybe even anxiety, the urge to swallow, something intense. Try to stay back and allow that to happen if you can. Try to come back with support. Remember your spine up first and then your head. Sit back in your feet for a moment. You can bring the top of your left foot into your right arch and just kind of allow the natural curves of your spine to return. You might experience this beautiful sensation of having more room in your chest to breathe. You can settle into that. Now the second set, we'll go even deeper into the heart meridian. So just like we warmed up with the myofascial stretching through the heart and small intestine meridian, we'll explore that beautiful sense of opening and expanding from the heart with half camel, reaching one arm back at a time. So the setup is the same as camel, and you can always tuck your toes under here too, if that feels more supportive. But get into your supportive, your opening posture here, just guiding your sacrum forward. And you'll kind of already feel some drawing in of the navel to support the spine, reaching back. Left arm, pinky, reaching out. Keep pressing your pelvis forward. We can come back up. Receive. Now think about practicing with an awareness of the myofascia as rewriting the blueprint of the body. That's really the secret in going deeper into any pose, is just practicing it, deepening it, day after day, breath by breath. Have that awareness of energy in the central channel. Add the bandhas if that's helpful, especially Mula Bandha. Starting with support. And reaching the right pinky finger back. Release and receive. Now the final piece to explore with front body opening, acupressure on the stomach line, especially the SCM, sternocleidomastoid. So the sternum and the mastoid, this is the masseter here in the jaw. So the SCM is this ropey muscle that attaches the sternum, the clavicle, up to the mastoid process. So it's a really powerful band of energy relating to our jaw, mastication, moving of the digestive pathway, and then it comes down the stomach fascia, coming down the mammary line into the abdomen, and then spreading out into the quadriceps, down the tibialis into the second toe. But this is where it can really get kind of glued up or locked up, and it feels scary to drop the head back if there's a lot of tension in the throat and the neck. So the most gentle and easy way to access this is just gentle, soft massage, pulling down some of the energy from the base of the skull. You can work in and just kind of wrap some warmth and some awareness around this ropey muscle. You don't have to be too worried about pinching anything here. The covering of this muscle is also very protective of the carotid artery and the major channel of lymph and the nerve that comes up through here too. So don't be worried about like hurting yourself, although it can feel maybe a little bit scary at first. Once you know what you're reaching for and you get more confident, it will feel really natural to massage this. And it should feel really good. Stomach chi is energy that wants to move down. That's the stream of energy for the digestive system. But things can make it move the other direction. Acid reflux, if you have irritable bowel syndrome or other digestive ailments, if you've ever had an eating disorder, like especially bulimia, then the energy moves the other way. So this just helps it return. And you can spend a little time on each side, and I'll just note that in the middle of the belly of the muscle is stomach 9. So that's a really good one. You can find there's a trigger point in there. The other point is stomach 12, which is right where the SCM meets the clavicle, and you can kind of tuck in behind it and imagine like sending the energy down. But I like just massaging it, because if you do one side at a time, then you're definitely aware of like any imbalances, or even just less afraid of like pinching an artery or something. I don't know, I was a little bit worried about that when I first started, but this is very superficial, the depth of the SCM. We're not going in like to the throat or even close to something that would be harmful. So just enjoying it. It should already feel pretty good. And even noticing too how tension here can affect tension even in the back of the head and the neck, like the base of the skull, even the scalp. And this is a great place to massage. Like if you do daily gua sha or other exercises, maybe working with facial cupping or beauty fascia, things that involve this awareness of the lymphatic drainage pathways through here. This could really open up a lot and make it feel more possible to backward bend from the cervical spine. Even like kind of bending your head toward the side you're working on makes it a little less tense. Maybe just kind of explore too. If you do them at the same time, you can notice like, oh, there's some tension that's hiding in here a little bit more than on the other side. And then one more point that's really helpful, especially if you have a lot of anxiety or you feel anxious when you practice camel pose, is conception vessel meridian, CV meridian. So right in between the clavicles, you hook your fingers in, back, and down. And I like to just rest my chin on top of my fingers and kind of help press it down. This is CV22. And it just feels really calming, like building trust between the nervous system and the body. I like to think about the conception vessel meridian like the soft front body has a spine, and there's like some blood intelligence here, like the ventral artery or energy line. So it's a very emotional landscape when we work with the yin, the front body. And don't be alarmed if some emotion comes to the surface, or really anything that could happen here. Just kind of move through it. Feel the energy. Maybe feel some tension or a blockage dissolve as we make space. And we'll come into our final set of Ustrasana. And this is the deepest practice. We work on extending back with both of our arms, reaching back. And some of us might be able to touch the floor, and then we'd have the option of coming all the way back into Lagha Vadrasana, which is full Kapotasana, it's sometimes also called. But just think about really pressing into the tops of your feet, sending your pelvis forward, and reaching your arms back. Whenever you're ready, just return, sitting back in your heels. Feet up in downward dog. Bending your knees as much as you need to. Just really spreading everything out. Hands, feet. Now let's come into pigeon pose. Sleeping swan. Left knee to our left wrist. And we'll just kind of tilt over to the right a little bit, trying to guide our pelvis so it's nice and level. And then we'll stay lifted here, working on finding our back bend expressions here. So the first step, just like in low lunge and Anjaneyasana, just lift the chest and contract the back body. You can stay here or reach around. Left peace fingers for your left big toe, so finding a bind across your low back. Bring your right hand down into your left quadricep and just a little twist to the left. If it's more comfortable, you can always put your right hand on the floor or a block. Remember that energy of cobra, drawing the shoulder away from the ear, elbow away down the back. And coming back through center, lift the chest up here. We'll meet up in Ardha Matsyendrasana. Spinal twist, seated spinal twist, right foot to the floor, outside of our left knee, sitting up tall, left arm reaches up, and then we can bind, bringing the back of our left arm outside of our right leg, and a deep experience for the organs again. Twisting, rinsing, just concentrate on a deep, full breath. Especially that experience of breathing with the diaphragm. Massaging the organs. Dissolving tension at the source to affect the pathway. Deepest breaths. Bind. You can hook in, find pericardium 6. Release. Downward dog. Right knee forward, pigeon. And just start by staying lifted, adjusting foundation. You can look back, make sure you feel steady, and then bring your hands back. You could even interlace your hands around the back of your left leg. Moving in here, Working on the back bend. If you're working on the bind, you can always spend some time reaching around Another thing that's nice too is to practice keeping the left leg bent and reaching back. Coming back, seated spinal twist. Inhale, right arm up. Or you can always simply hug your knee in too. The bind is nice. Reaching back. Go a little deeper. You can find the bind. A few more breaths, sitting tall, massaging the organs. The nervous system. And release. Little counter press over to the right. And then extend your feet forward. Walk your tailbone back. Interlace your thumbs. And just extend the heart up. Lift up. And then fold forward with strength, pulling up from the soles of the feet to the collarbones, from the pelvic floor to the collarbones. Legs are strong. And then, once you've lengthened yourself out, you can reach around, interlace your fingers on the outer edges of your feet, around the bottoms of your heels, and then round chin to chest. Still keep some energy in your legs, lifting up from the soles of your feet. Engage Mula Bandha. Try to remember the intense compression of the front body is what allows the back body to lengthen. Keep squeezing, activate the bandhas. And release. Feet together, knees wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. And we can reach around underneath our legs and find the tops of our ankles. This is acupressure for the stomach meridian, again for the front body. And acupressure here on the stomach fascia to make that connection with releasing the front body, tension through the front body that prevents the spine from backward bending. And just pulling up on the ankles. You can even hook in where the tendon splits in the fronts of the ankles. Tracing the pathway from the lower eyes, down the throat, into the chest, down through the groin, into the quadriceps, into the tibialis, and the second toe on each side. Every meridian is bilaterally symmetrical. So if I talk about its pathway on one side, it's mirrored on the other, left to right. We are externally symmetrical beings and internally asymmetrical, or at least not a carbon copy on each side. Let's move now into bridge. You can keep that reach around the front of your ankles if you like that. Otherwise, you can cup the backs of your heels or interlace your fingers underneath, palms touching. We'll lift our sternum up, chin to chest. Just watch each breath as it floats through the diaphragm. Grounding down into the bottoms of our feet. Maybe supported bridge if you can lift up even higher. Come into the balls of your feet. Lift, lift, lift. And slowly lower down. Feet wide, knees in toward one another. And just outstretch your arms, palms to the floor. And just massage the back of your head, side to side. Now we'll go in a little deeper, practicing wheel. If you don't like wheel, or you're afraid to go up into wheel, try just bringing the top of your head to the mat, like this. And eventually, pressing up into the strength of your arms and your legs. From here, we can walk our feet and hands closer together. We can stay and lift, bringing the heels up. Or we can come down into our forearms. Five, four, three, two, one. Release. Again, feet wide, knees in toward one another. Deep breaths. And we'll finish with a final spinal twist here with eagle legs, Garudasana. Left knee above right, wrapping our left leg on top. We shift our hips over to the left so our knees fall to the right, stacking our pelvis and reaching our left hand out, palm to the floor. Feel the meridian stretch through the lungs and the heart. You can rest your right hand on your left side body, feeling the movement of your breath rise and fall. Reach more, press out through your palm, just like the opening meridian stretch. Reach, maybe even bring your middle finger pointing up here. Stretching out. And change. We'll twist the other way. Hips center to begin with. Wrapping right leg on top. Hips to the right, knees to the left. Right shoulder down, gaze to the right. See if there is any way you can deepen your breath. If there's any tension you notice, can you soften the base of your skull, your jaw and your neck, your tongue? Calm, steady breaths. And then maybe flex your right hand, reaching up through your middle finger, pressing out through the center of your palm. Deepest stretch and breath. And then release into final Shavasana. If you want a mudra here, to stretch back into the heart, you can flip internal rotation, thumbs coming up to your forehead and your peace fingers coming down near your jaw. And there's some nice acupressure in here for the gallbladder, side body. And then just settle into the calm, even rhythm of your breath. something else that's nice is wrapping the arms into Garudasana and then just trying to pull the elbows down, grounding a little bit more through the back, the shoulder blades, the lungs, and the back of the heart. Inhale, reach, and exhale, switch the wrap of your arms. Full body stretch. And roll over onto your side, spending a moment here. Observe the energies, the sensations. And meet up in easy seat. You can also come into lotus if you like, half or full. And let's just finish with the dedication. May all beings benefit from this practice. May our lives be a source of light and inspiration, a beacon of healing, the balance of yoga, the wisdom of these teachings. It's more transformational with practice. We can re-anchor in the truth of existence and inhabit our life from the heart space, the wisdom of our heart, our spirit. And we just seal this in our final intention, benevolence for all beings, all life. Lokah, Samastah, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Om. Infinite blessings. Hope you enjoy this practice